Okay, JB, we are at the 2024 Arizona Concours, and ironically, it's raining. So cars are covered up a little bit anyway. Tell us what this car is. It's pretty famous, I think, for a lot of people.
Well, this car was subject to a 6-year build, if I'm not mistaken, and nobody mentions the amount of resources that were used, but it had to be substantial. It was built at Hollywood Hot Rods in Los Angeles by a friend of mine, and we were fortunate enough to be given a couple of things to do on it. First of all, we designed the logo for it.
Okay.
And you see here, it's on the steering wheel as well.
Okay.
And we also built these side lights, and that was an interesting story because they were scheduled to be made by another company, and the company that made them incorrectly, and within only a couple of weeks before the car was going to be judged, these still had not shown up.
Oh, wow.
Would have left a kind of a hole in the hood.
Right.
So Troy, who owns Hollywood Hot Rods, called me up and asked me if I could make them for them, and I did. And
okay.
I think they got on the car about 6 days before it actually was in there.
Oh, wow. All right. Do you happen to know what kind of engine's under the hood?
Yeah, it's a big series V12 Lincoln.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
It's not to be confused with a Lincoln Zephyr motor. That's the smaller series. But these were full classic Lincolns built by Lincoln Motor Company. Same people, but these are only a handful of cars was ever built in that era. Yep. The V12s, and magnificent engine, and they've put a very rare supercharger on it, and some very rare carburetors that Alan Decker, a friend of mine, built. I think it was probably 2015, and that engine was put in the car about that time, and then it was only finished just days before the America's Most Beautiful Roadster competition, and very unusual that it was able to win because it is technically a roadster, but being scratch built and not being a 32 Ford, it raised some eyebrows as being a car that didn't fit into the norm, but ultimately they had to admit it was the best car there, and they gave it the award. And it's been awarded more first places than any car in history.
Wow.
I think something like 8 first places out of 9, and all over the world.
Wow.
It is probably, for my money, the most beautiful car ever built.
Wow. Now tell me the story of the steering wheel.
Yeah, the steering wheel, they commissioned us to do a steering wheel for it just from an artist's conception. So we had to scratch build the entire wheel. And it's really a beautiful piece, and it had to match the interior maroon leather. So we did it in kind of a candy apple red with a touch of brown, so pick up on the maroon theme. And we also did the inner plastic for it and all the metal and the horn ring and all the rest of it. And so it was quite a bit of work, took quite a little bit of time, but it's easily one of the best wheels we've ever built. And we had some freedom, thankfully, to do kind of what we wanted to do.
Excellent. Wow, it's interesting because this car has, like, you notice different flavors from different brands back in the day, kind of, but nothing is like specifically just one thing, is it?
Well, it's reminiscent of a Packard, but has some cues from Packard, obviously, with a grill.
Yeah, that's right.
But Packard dreamed about looking this good. But, you know, it's a very interesting car in the sense that they had the good sense to know what styling cues worked and which ones didn't work.
I can't imagine, I mean, just looking at this little piece of the suspension, what they went through.
Yeah, it's an amazing process. That's why it took so many years to build.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get another peek underneath. Really interesting. Well, there we go. And again, we need to remind people that the roof does come off. It is a roadster.
It is a true roadster, and that top actually raises up and goes into the trunk, and the trunk shuts itself.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that probably took forever to build.
Okay, yeah, you can actually see a cut line here where,
right,
and it's hinged in the
where,
back, I
where
guess.
you'd have a deck lid, the whole back raises up, and the top folds underneath it, and then it closes again.
Wow.
It's just a miraculous
It's so smooth
engineering,
looking. I mean,
yeah.
Really amazing.
So the reference on the license plate to amber means that it won the America's Most Beautiful Roadster competition in 2017.
America's Most Beautiful Roadster.
Yeah, that's pretty high zoot.
That's
about
pretty
as,
cool.
About as high zoot as you can get.
Yeah, very good. Well, thanks for showing us around, JB.
Thank you.